water is increasingly encroaching on our province. People are doing their very best to hold it back, but it's like a drop in the ocean. It won't be long before our province disappears beneath the waves. Fortunately, things never have to get that bad.
Water is voor veel Nederlanders een vanzelfsprekende zaak. Vanzelfsprekend dat er genoeg is, vanzelfsprekend dat het schoon is, vanzelfsprekend dat er nooit te veel is, vanzelfsprekend dat het niet over onze dijken heen klotst. Maar we moeten er rekening mee houden dat we in een delta wonen. Een groot gedeelte van ons land ligt onder de waterspiegel. Het klimaat verandert en dat betekent dat er in de toekomst meer regen valt. En dat betekent dat wij er weer alert op moeten zijn dat onze dijken altijd sterk genoeg zijn en altijd hoog genoeg zijn. Dus werk aan de winkel voor de waterschappen. Waterschappen hebben een democratisch gekozen bestuur. En dat is belangrijk. Want ook waar het over water gaat, zijn de belangen soms tegengesteld. En dan kan dat democratisch gekozen bestuur beslissingen nemen.
The area under the control of the Groot Salland Waterboard covers the western region of the province of Overijssel, some 120,000 hectares. In this area, Waterboard personnel ensure the dikes are safe and that there's space for water, it can be enjoyed, and that it's clean.
At
the Waterboard, I'm looking after the dikes. I do the management, maintenance and safety tests. Aside from the annual dike maintenance, we also conduct safety tests once every 5 years. What we're doing here is checking whether the vegetation on the dike is sturdy enough to prevent erosion occurring when the water levels rise.
Mooi hè?
Beautiful, isn't it? The largest inflatable dam in the world. This inflatable dam, Ramspol, is a storm surge barrier that protects West Overijssel from rising waters. The inflatable dam consists of 3 bellows. Each of them is around 80 meters long and 10 meters high. We fill these bellows with air and water. So we're fighting water with water, as it were. We inspect the inflatable dam once every 3 years. We drain the water out of the bellows so that we can enter them. Annual maintenance is also undertaken, and we test it annually so we know we're ready for the next storm season. My colleagues and I endeavour to implement the creation of space for water in our area. This means finding space for water, creating storage areas, which we hope to combine with nature conservancy, recreation and the outdoors experience. Through this, we also hope to make the water system in Groot Salland both visually attractive and well laid out. We've got a demo project in Heino, where we've constructed various types of water storage systems. In the end, we can see what the best combination of water and agriculture is. We need land to create space for water. We don't own the land ourselves, much of it is owned by farmers. And here at the experimental farm, Arve Heine, we've created 4 different types of water storage systems to see what the best combination would be. One way is to level and lower it dramatically, so that it can still be used for pasture. Another way is a more natural method. What we did here is dig the water storage area into a slope. It's wet here at the bottom, dry at the top, and this results in an attractive and natural variation. Thanks to the natural design and increasing accessibility through creating cycling and walking paths, we want people to get to know their watery environment and plants and animals that live in and nearby the water. Research amongst the Groot Salland Citizens Panel has demonstrated that people consider it important that the Waterboard focuses on this too. And this is why the Waterboard welcomes initiatives undertaken by other organisations that increase the aspect of enjoyment. One of the initiatives is the creation of 5 water-orientated cycling routes in the area. Cyclists can follow the routes past a variety of waterboard artefacts and projects, such as this fish ladder by the Waterboard lock.
The
Groot Salland Waterboard has 9 wastewater treatment plants that treat the wastewater for West Overijssel. Purifying drinking water is something we certainly don't do here. This is the Deventer wastewater treatment plant. This is the start of the purification process. It's pumped up here and flows further, driven by gravity, through the plant. Once it's reached the top, it flows through the bulk waste grid to remove all bulk waste from it. After passing through the comb-shaped grid, the water is divided below us here, and it's forced up by the screws and divided into the 2 primary clarifying tanks. At this point, the water is about 30% purified. I'm taking a sample here. This is the reactor. What you see here is the active sludge. It's full of bacteria. There are a total of 5 different rings here. Each ring has its own set of conditions for a specific type of bacteria. This is where all the water is purified. We're now by the secondary clarifier. We also just saw the reactor from where the water flows into the secondary clarifier and flows out. The sludge with the bacterial matter sinks to the bottom, and the clean water at the top flows into the IJssel. We check the water every day so that we can adjust the process, and we send a sample once every 5 or 6 days to the Groot Salland Waterboard laboratory, where it's subjected to a full analysis. Here in the sectorpolder, we've started to create space for water. You can see it quite clearly because the dike stops over there. We moved a 400-meter-long dike backwards. By doing that, we created a huge amount of space for water storage. We received proof that it works in November 2006, when we had a large amount of rain, and this area was slowly submerged. By doing this, we ensured that the water didn't flow onto Zwolle. When the weather is nice, children and adults love to swim here in the Wietermeerplaats in Zwolle without worrying about the water quality. They can do this because the Waterboard checks the water every 14 days in the summer season. We check that the water is not contaminated with botulism or cyanobacteria. We also check whether there's litter in the water. We'll take a sample to check for the presence of harmful bacteria. By doing this, we can ensure that the people swimming here can safely enjoy the water. Dikes and quays protect us from water coming from the outside, but we also have to deal with water within our own region. For this, we have waterways, weirs and pump stations. You can see the waterways being cleaned here, which is also one of the tasks of the Waterboard. It ensures that water levels are maintained. Water level management entails trying to keep the water levels in the ditches, waterways and canals at the right height. By doing that, we keep the groundwater levels in the area correct. The waterways must thus be mowed, so that the water can flow in and out. Slush is sediment that can be found in all ditches, canals and rivers. It's important that the bed of the waterway doesn't hinder the quality of the surface water. That's why we dredge, to guarantee the quality of the surface water. There are two ways of dredging. The first one involves renovating the old canals, where industries used to discharge their waste and where sanitary sewer overflow occurred. And then we have the standard dredging in canals and ditches for regular maintenance, involving the removal of vegetation. The slush that's not contaminated is used for noise barriers. The contaminated slush is stored in specially designed locations. As a result of climate change, and the importance of clean water, water management is changing. That's why the Groot Salland Waterboard is, and always will be, versatile with water. Water will always be a dangerous adversary. That's why it's important that the Groot Salland Waterboard takes steps to ensure water has space without endangering the health and safety of the inhabitants, and that you can also continue to enjoy water safely.